I don't know when I'm ready. I don't even know what type of prompt I need anymore. I don't know what it is. Sunrise, sunset, the idle, beautiful, sunny afternoon in Minneapolis. Welcome to the 15th episode of Access to Art. I think that's pretty remarkable. The show is produced by the Minneapolis Television Network to give you a taste of the breadth, the depth, and the wide range of art available in Minneapolis to you. All you need to do is look around. Today we're outside of the Pie Bar and Restaurant in the Seward neighborhood for the opening of the 2008 Pride Art Show. You're going to meet some of the artists in just a little bit. And let's take a look at some of the murals outside first. Featuring both local and national acts, the Heliotrope Festival is a 3-day spring event that brings underground experimental music to light. Access to Art correspondent Laura Stopyro takes us to the Ritz Theater in Northeast Minneapolis for a glimpse at Heliotrope in its 5th year.
The reason we did this thing is to put on the kind of event that we would want to attend.
Musicians in general are so supportive of the idea of the event and so interested in being part of it and making it happen.
This is a big event, but it still has this sort of underground sensibility to it, which I was really happy to be a part of, for sure.
The band I like tells me about another band that I haven't seen, and they're all pumped about them. I'll go check them out, and a lot of times it's quite a revelation.
This is the first year that we have wanted to have more bands play it than we could possibly fit, just because there's so much good stuff going on in town right now.
It's that rare convergence where there's a lot of people doing a lot of really interesting music, and it seems that people are responding to it by coming and seeing it.
Heliotrope kind of represented to me this grouping of people who were really at their creative peaks, fully realized visions of what they want to make.
It's adventurous, but they're utilizing their skills to really push things. And then some of these people can really play.
The Ritz was a big step. The other founders of Flaneur Productions, Jim Bovino and Don Mabley Allen, are not musicians, but Don does all the lighting for us, so he's got a lot of creative input in this, and Jim and I work together to do all the production side of things.
I'd never really been to the Ritz Theater, so I didn't have a lot of expectations other than I heard from a lot of people that this is a really great venue. It is a big, expansive space, and there's a big stage, but somehow it still feels intimate.
There is a sound system, there's theatrical lights, the soundproofing in here is wonderful. I mean, the sound of the bands is really good.
One of the things that we like about this type of setting is that it sort of elevates the kind of music that we like. The kind of audience that comes to an event like that will be quiet while something's playing. So if you're doing some real minimalist, subtle stuff like some of the improvisers that we have, people will be quiet.
And it has allowed us to broaden it, to bring in more sort of straight kind of rock setup type bands that we'd been interested in before.
Even though we were up on that big stage, it managed to feel comfortable. When we played, there was a projectionist, but I would look back every so often, and they seemed to really integrate well with our music.
Skull Kodiak is one of the rare bands that can animate a Midwestern audience into a frenzy of kinetic motion.
Part of our, I guess, our meta mission has always been about kind of building community and connecting artists to audiences and artists to other artists.
Kind of a nice opportunity to showcase some of the things in town that we thought maybe weren't getting the kind of attention that they should be getting, or people that we thought were doing fantastic work that maybe didn't play out as much as we thought they should.
It's also about it being a mix, so it's not all just one kind of music. So we have a bit of free jazz along with some sort of more folk songwriter-based stuff and psychedelia.
Like this kind of controlled chaos that was just really nice to be involved with, like with people just, you know, rushing the stage and jumping up on stage for Skull Kodiak, or Vampire Hands bringing in like Freddie to play drums and a couple other friends to play drums. I mean, does it do something to sort of legitimize our existence? Yeah.
And you know they'd be doing it whether it was popular or not, and they're really into what they're doing. That sincerity that's what I'm interested in more than anything else.
When you visit the Pie Bar and Restaurant, through the entry hallway and just around one corner, you can see an amazing array of art for part of the Pride 2008 art show. It's amazing. There's photography, there's assemblages, there's welded bicycle chains, for crying out loud, and a lot of traditional approaches to painting and collaging as well. And I'd like to first speak with Rochelle, who kindly had us come here today to tell me, in a nutshell, how does something like this happen?
How does this happen? It was a collaborative effort. It would not have been possible without, first of all, Twin City Pride inviting Rare Productions, which is myself, Rochelle, and Roxanne Anderson, to assist with the art show.
Well, if you can make an already supposedly arts-friendly environment in Minneapolis friendlier, this is definitely the venue to do it.
Well, yes, it is. In a perfect setting here at Pie Bar and Restaurant, our first women-owned and lesbian-run bar here in the city of Minneapolis.
Roxanne, so what was your part in all this other than supporting Rochelle?
My part in this was primarily to support Rochelle and Dr. Cheryl Maloney in the production, also to kind of call artists to the table. So I got a lot of the artists to come and participate.
And how do you find them?
MySpace, Facebook, plus our website, rareproductionsmpls.com.
Good.
So we have a way to kind of collaborate with artists, get them on our mailing list, and then let them know of events where they can show their stuff.
What's really underneath it all for you?
You know, the part that I am most struck at is reading the artist's statement that they sent in, and their passion and their integrity and just the whole commitment to art. It was so touching and moving that I was brought to tears by what some of the artists were saying. And, you know, we spent 3.5 hours going through this art. And in some art exhibitions, you pick and choose. We were so moved by every piece. We went, everybody has to be here.
Well, you have a big night ahead of you, don't you? Yes. Everybody's going to come in. Everybody wants to say hi, and clearly everybody's very happy.
I think so. I hope so, because this is a great show, lots of different mediums, lots of excitement, and we truly feel like we're capturing and honoring the diversity of our community.
I think so, too.
And that's a great thing to do every year, to offer this particular opportunity. We're so grateful to Pie Bar to allow this to happen for us for 2008.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with Access to Art. How long is the show up?
It is up until July 2nd.
Oh, okay. You may have to just watch us on MTN Channel 17. Open Eye Figure Theater is a remarkable place and an exciting place, and it was just voted by City Pages as Best Theater for Drama. They combine artistic forms into an experience that is both intimate and profound. Access to Art correspondent Ashely Siebels recently attended 2 different performances, but they both included the use of puppets. Open Eye's driveway tour puppet shows will continue throughout the summer.
Okay, everybody, raise your hand real high. Ever seen a puppet show in your life? Okay, great. Put them down. Now, probably those of you who've seen one know that there's some things that you need to do when you're in a puppet show. And one of them is laugh. So let's all practice laughing together.
We incorporate puppetry in our work, but we don't really consider ourselves puppeteers. We incorporate puppets, objects, image-based and image-driven kind of ideas.
Figure Theater was formed in 2000, and it was formed by Michael Summers and myself. I have a long history of working in theater in many different capacities: directing, writing, designing, costuming, everything.
Your business prize!
We wanted to do original work, and the kind of work that we do was not being done here, and so we decided to form our own company.
I think one of the things too about the work is it's the human hand that's the engine or motor for it, this sense of touch. And somehow the work that I make really, in an odd way, it's kind of like lowbrow engineering. It's like, how simple can it be? How much can that touch really affect a movement? And it's still the human touch that's doing it. It's not a machine, it's not anything else. It's a human being touching something. And I think that's really important in our times. Dancing to Contagium came from a moment when I was cleaning out my own studio, and I kept finding all these things I'd built over the years that were either bad ideas, mistakes, or failures, things that never really worked. And I thought that was really interesting. Why do I keep making that over and over again and trying these ideas that never work? So I thought I'll just do a show using all these things that never worked, and maybe it won't work. We rehearsed for 4 weeks, and then we put it in front of the public. And we just started, as it says in the play, adding one thing to another to try to figure out the scheme of things. We just started working and living in this world and trying to make these shapes.
It's definitely a wild process because you're not creating from a rigid script. Anything can happen. And on a given day, you can scrap everything you did the day before and start with something new. And that's really beautiful, and it can be really brutal too, because you go, oh, I really like that idea. Where are we going now? But ultimately where you're going is also really beautiful.
The piece for me, what continually was amazing for me performing it was that idea. There is nothing new under the sun. Nobody's gonna remember anything that happens to you after you leave, and that's okay, and you can still kind of embrace the beauty of life and keep going and bang the drum anyways.
At Open Eye, we're very small. When we were planning how we were going to exist as an organization, some of our consultants said, well, you do too many different things. And we do a lot of different things, from Dancing with Contagion, which was, like a performance art piece. It was really wild and different, very unusual and unique, to doing traditional puppetry in people's yards. The Driveway Tour is our summer program that we started in 2001, I believe. Yeah, it's right after 9/11. People weren't going out to theater. So we designed a program where we've built a puppet show. It's about a half an hour in length, and we take it out into the community. We go through the 7-county metro area. We've designed this to be extremely accessible, family-friendly, easy to do. And we partner with private citizens that want us to come to their neighborhood, and We do not charge. We pass the hat. We ask them if they would like their site posted on our website, which most people do, and so people can go to that, just openeyetheater.org, and see if there's a puppet show near them. We're really tiny, but people are finding out we're here and doing really, really fun work. So we invite everybody to come over and discover us.
How many artists are in the show?
I think there's 23.
And I noticed that some have awards up. And what would the categories be?
Well, you know, we left that up to our judges. It was an independent panel that Roxanne and Rochelle helped me identify. And I know that we did Best of Show, Best Photography, Best Pride Theme, and I can't remember the fourth one.
Well, we'll find it when we do shots
Best
around the gallery.
Unspoken Word.
I think how dramatic it is, really. I mean, it's a beautiful combination of metal, and it's soft and it's hard at the same time. It's all found objects, with the exception of the canvas, which was painted by Elizabeth. She's around here somewhere.
I came from Saudi Arabia, and it described my longing and childhood memory of the henna and the culture that I miss.
Playboy.
Okay.
Just a wonderful pose out of Playboy. The lady had it going on with some ribbons. There's a local red ribbon ride going on to support a bunch of friends are riding in that.
It was actually created in my very dark room where there was no light, and I'm trying to imagine what does shade look like if it were sunny? I'm trying to imagine sunny because we haven't had any sun yet. It's been very dark in my dark wood paneling room, and voila.
The thing that I was striving for with this photo is a really drastic, dramatic lighting, which I believe really makes the photo. It enhances the lines on the body, and that's what I want my viewer to look at, is the soft lines.
Now I need word from the good Dr. Grand Marshal. What do you think about all this? Here's an opening. It's early in the evening. A lot of people are here. We've spoken to so many artists already, and it just seems to be building up.
I'm not an artist. I'm an audience, and I love this stuff. And I think the more people can see things, and the media that you have is a mechanism to bring out to a community that has been repressed, and you're helping to liberate them. And I commend you.
Well, we need walk signs everywhere, and we need a walk sign right outside the door. And this gallery, open to the neighborhood, open to the public, beautiful art, and we all should be celebrating all art all the time. Thank you very much. The second National Asian American Theater Conference, hosted by local theater companies Pangea World Theater and Moo Performing Arts, brought together Asian American artists, academics, administrators, and funders from across the country. Access to art correspondents Laura Stopyro and Beth Peloff attended conference events at both the Guthrie and Mixed Blood theaters and spoke with some of those involved.
Scene one. Say it, Omar. You think I'm some horny, plantain-picking, banana-packing freak of nature.
The people here are from all over the country. So they're from California, New York, it's from Texas, Atlanta. There are people from everywhere. And gathered here in Minneapolis.
On behalf of all of us at the Guthrie, to welcome you to the second annual National Asian American Theater Conference.
This is already 2008. There have been Asian American theater artists. There have been Asian American theater companies here in this country for the last decades. And it's really interesting that it's only now, in the last 3 to 5 years, that we've been able to coalesce as a community.
Chance to
come together, be in a platform that's called national, hasn't happened often. And it's a very new thing, even though the practice itself and the artists themselves have been around for decades and decades.
We really wanted to show the national Asian American theater movement is not just in New York and California, that it's really a national kind of movement.
The very fact that we're having a conference like this, that we are sort of organized enough to, and we have the vision to pull something like this together, and we're able to get the funding, and we're able to get the institutional support, means that, in some sense, the Asian American theater has come of age.
Because the title of the conference is Shaping Our Voice and Vision, one of the main themes is playwriting.
The conference has play readings, many panel discussions, and a couple of plenaries.
If it was about the playwrights, let's see their work, and let's give them a chance to have audiences from around the country see these different plays.
I just wanted to be an appreciative audience member, and in a place where it's like a candy store. Like, I get to consume, good theater.
I thought it's my fault. I let her play with G.I. Joes and Tonka trucks. The one time she played with her sister's Barbie doll, she cut off all the hair and made it look like a Ken doll.
No artist wants to be limited in what they feel like they can write about. And no one wants to feel obligated to write a specific kind of play.
It's just an intersection of many different kinds of artworks, forms, traditions that are coming together at this conference. So that makes this conference a really exciting place to be at.
Theater! Theater! Put a little draw into it. Theater! Theater! That's the long version of oh yeah, you betcha.
We've really got a wonderful mix of artists and companies that I think are making the kind of national movement of Asian American theater and performance an exciting movement. The Guthrie, as it turned out, was generous enough to offer as a donation the use of their classrooms and their building. The offer of the Guthrie is a fantastic sort of offer of support.
And to listen to the stories of the divergent and different strains of ethnicity, of nationality, of culture that come from so many different parts of the world.
At night, walking down the street, she could be black, white, Asian, Latina, or Sri Lankan. I wouldn't know. All I know is that her silhouette screams that she is a woman.
Who feels like they are a part of Asian American theater in this room?
Networking is one of the key aspects of any conference, and that is no matter how much internet we have, no matter how good our cell phones are, there almost is nothing to replace face-to-face contact, personal contact, working together, talking together.
We had some great playwrights, we met with directors, we met with funders, we met with friends, we met with artists, and that's the idea of this conference.
What I want to urge us to do is not just to ask questions of the panelists, but to ask questions of ourselves, all of us in this room, as a community, as cultural workers, as colleagues, to pose questions that we need to keep working on for the rest of the day and until the next time that we meet.
When you tell your own story and when you see yourself reflected on stage, there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of connecting.
Now, when I see some Asian chick walk into the place with a white guy, I just start waving. Over here, They just look at me like I'm weird. I'll sit somewhere else.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Your attention. Please thank our panelists and keep the conversation going and the questions going. Thank you.
inside the Pie Bar and Restaurant in the Seward neighborhood, and it's for the opening of the 2008 Pride Art Show. And first we're going to talk to the owner of the bar, who in large part made this possible. Tara, welcome to Access to Art. How do you get something like this together? How did it start?
Well, the art show?
Sure.
Okay, the art show, that was easy. A bunch of gays descended upon us with art, and we hung it on the walls.
Because this has been ongoing at this venue.
That's correct. In the hallway, we have a rotating art gallery. It was very important to me when I opened the bar to have a space for local artists, especially local queer artists, to display their art. Pie Bar doesn't take any commissions for artists displaying or selling their work here. I think people find it odd that there's an art gallery in a bar.
In a bar and restaurant.
A nightclub atmosphere. But people have come to expect it, and we've had a couple of artists do really well, sell quite a few pieces here.
And so now this year, for 2008 Pride, there's also the Pride Art Show in this venue, kind of an expansion of what was going on in the entry hallway. How did that come about?
Well, Cheryl approached me. Cheryl's director of TC Pride, and we already have a relationship with Cheryl. She came to us, and we had an opening in our schedule and set it up.
And I noticed you conveniently already have a mural in place outside. How did that happen?
We actually have quite a few murals. There's
around
one
the
in
building?
the pool room inside, and one against the west wall over there. The murals outside on the south end of the building were done during Pride last year by the B-Girls. The week after Pride is the B-Girls Summit, and they have it at Intermediate Arts.
Yes.
And they happened to be in town last year, and so quite a few of them came over, and we had live graffiti art last year during Pride.
Excellent. Well, we're behind the Pie Bar and Restaurant now to bid you adieu, and please note that up the wall here, this property is under camera surveillance, as am I. And good reason, too, because I want to tell you, and I always want it seen and known, that the best possible result of this show being seen by you is that you go out and experience some art for yourself. Make some art for yourself. You know, in the best possible world, there wouldn't be need for poets like me. We would behave artfully on our own, each and every one of us, so often and in so many ways, you wouldn't need it that way. So get artful. Go out there, enjoy art, and be sure to watch Access to Art Tuesday nights on MTN Channel 17.
Might I just say, 50% of the sales of all artwork here goes to run the third largest Pride in the country. Let's bring in some sales and raise some money for Pride.
All right, we just have to edit the entire show now for the flagrant commercialization and but the product placement here is art by very talented artists.
Yes.
Beth is merciless. She's a producer. It's alternative art. You'd think we're working for Sam Raimi, and if we are, where's the special effects budget? Shannon said it's coming later in the dance competition. They actually throw this stuff at the end of the tape when they run the credits.